Hello everyone, once again this is Miss Hanson, your instructor for Math 171, and I'm just making a quick video to make sure everyone knows where everything is in our Moodle shell. So whether you are in Math 171 1457 or 1458, this video is exactly the same. The only thing different between those two classes is what days of the week we have class. Okay, so getting started, things that we need to know in the course is one, you have to complete the required enrollment assignment, and on the course information page, you should read the syllabus and complete the syllabus acknowledgement statement. You will not be able to access any of the materials in the course until you do those two things. Everything else is locked. So make sure you take care of that ASAP. Moving on, there is a link in the tutoring services section where there is, if you could come to RCC's campus, which this probably doesn't apply to you all as much, we offer tutoring here on campus, but we also offer tutoring online. So you could use the links in this section to get tutoring if you feel like you need some extra help with the course. The missed class section, if I ever have to cancel class or I'm unable to come to campus, I will post something in the missed class section to make up for our missed class, but I would of course be sending emails about that, so don't worry about that for now. In the course schedule section, there is a link here to access the live course schedule. So this is going to open up a calendar that looks like this. On this calendar, you will see dates, assignments, things that need to be turned in by certain days, things like that. We'll go over this calendar in more detail, and it's a link to the live calendar because I expect that as the semester progresses, I'll have to make some edits to that calendar, push some things forward, shift some things back slightly. So that is a living document. It might be getting updated as we go forward in the semester. Questions and answers section. I'm going to come right back to this in a second. The next section on here is ALEKS. ALEKS is where we will be doing our homework. So to access ALEKS, you'll just click this link right here. Okay. We will go over getting into ALEKS and making sure everyone knows how to access it and where it's at and how it works in class in person. Okay. But just to get into it, you'll click this link. In this link also lives the e-text version of your textbook. So if you wanted to read the textbook, you could click that link to access it. Perhaps the most important section of Moodle is the lessons section of Moodle. This section holds all of the recorded lectures for our course. So for example, looking at lesson 1, it tells me what the purpose of this lesson is. So it tells me what objectives I should be able to meet after completing this lesson. There is a link to a note sheet that you could print off, but you shouldn't need to print it off because I will give you copies of that in class. As you go through this lesson, there are questions that you need to answer to earn points. The questions are very easy, and you can answer them as many times as you need to get 100%. Okay, but you can't access lesson 2 until you get 100% on lesson 1. But it might just be like 1 or 2 simple questions in there for you to answer. You'll see that I have this comment in here. If you have any questions, post them to the lesson 1 Q&A forum. Every lesson has its own question and answer forum. So let's say you're at home and you're watching lesson 1 and you have a question. You can go to Flip. Flip is an app that you'll probably find is easiest to use on your phone, and you can just record your work and say, hey, I'm at this part of the video. I don't understand what you're doing right here. Could you answer that? Then I get a notification on my phone and I can go on and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, or this is why I did it like that. Or maybe I even made a mistake, hopefully not, and I can explain myself. But yeah, so Flip is where I will ask you all to ask me questions if you have questions while you're working on things at home, because it can be very difficult to talk about math through email. So that's the lesson section of Moodle. Each lesson also has a corresponding classwork section. Hopefully, in reality, I don't think you all will need to access this section of Moodle too much because I'm going to be giving you all paper copies of the classwork. So when this says complete and submit the classwork assignment in that link, you're going to get this paper from me in class. It's not going to say equation. Okay, there we go. You're going to get this paper from me in class, and we will work on this together in class. And you will turn it in class. Some of the due dates for classwork maybe once or twice in this semester where the due date falls on a day that we do not actually meet and then I will ask you to submit it to Moodle. Or if you were absent the day that a classwork assignment was due, then you should come to Moodle and submit it here. But for the most part, you should just be able to give me papers in the classroom, which is in fact my preference. I would rather you just give it to me in the classroom than submit it to Moodle. There's comments for each classwork telling you how it will be graded. So I'm not going to be grading, if there's 10 problems on the classwork, I'm not going to look at all 10 problems on your classwork assignment. I may only look at 6 of them. And 40% of the grade counts for on time, submitting the assignment on time and making sure that the assignment was completely done. There is a test section on Moodle. This test section holds details for each one of our tests and the objectives that will be tested for each test. So for instance, it'll tell you when the test is scheduled for, how much time you have on the test, what you are allowed to use on the test, and then the next section will tell you everything that will be tested. Now that doesn't mean that there's going to be however many bullet points there are listed here. It doesn't mean that there's going to be that many questions on the test, but these are all of the possible objectives that I could test for on test 1. And of course, we will talk more about that in person. Finally, there's a final exam section on Moodle, which probably looks a lot like the test section on Moodle. I'm honestly not even sure what's in there yet. Probably nothing, because that's so far away. Okay, so it just tells you that the final exam is cumulative, meaning that it covers everything from the first lesson to the last lesson. Anything that we talked about in the course can show up on the final exam. It tells you when it is scheduled for, how long you have, and what you are allowed to use on the final exam. So that's just a quick video of what we have going on in this course. And yet again, I am looking forward to meeting and working with all of you this semester.